Laugh, and the world laughs with you. Weep, and you weep alone. For the sad old earth must borrow its mirth, but has trouble enough of its own. Sing, and the hills will answer. Sigh, it is lost in the air. The echoes bound to a joyful sound, but shrink from voicing care. Rejoice, and men will seek you. Grieve, and they turn and go. They want full measure of all of your pleasure, but they do not need your woe. Be glad, and your friends are many. Be sad, and you lose them all. There are none to decline your nectared wine, but alone you must drink life's gall. Hey, what's up, guys? I wanted to show you a really cool farm for some really awesome knightly gear, seeing as I'm a knight and all. This is my current fit for this farming video. Mm, We shall show you the fit. Lion's Claw is really super easy for this farm. Makes it really easy, so I highly recommend it. Just follow me, and we will kill some Redmane guys, because they're a bunch of bitches, and they have really cool armor. We are in Caelid, specifically near the Smoldering Wall waypoint here in Western Caelid. So you start at the Smoldering Wall, and you'll run kind of west-southwest along the wall towards this camp right here. And this camp has a couple of soldiers and one of these guys, so you can get all of the armor basically that drops from the soldier enemies in Caelid here. And you're basically just going to ride your Lion's Claw to victory. What's up, man? You want to play? You want to hang out? So first, I wanted to show you this farm, but as I am farming myself, I'm going to kick off a little discussion on this video, because I felt like talking about it. I was having a conversation with someone today about depression and suicide, and I'm fairly certain this person is not neurotypical but has never been to therapy. If you've never been to therapy, I recommend you go. Everybody has shit they need to talk about. It really helps. Even if you're neurotypical, therapy is rad. I highly recommend it. And you're just riding your Lion's Claw to ultimate victory. Some of the awesome stuff you can get from here include the Knight's Greatsword, which is the longest greatsword in the game, according to Fex for Life. Very cool. Looks like this on your back. Has a really nice sheath. Kind of gold filigree on the blade, on a black blade with like red and burnished gold details. A very nice sword, highly recommend. It's actually the one I was looking for, so I'm probably going to start upgrading it very shortly. Still using this Zweihander right now. And the shield that is its counterpart is one of my favorite shields in the game. The Redmane Great Shield. I really like this shield for its aesthetics. It's pretty unique looking, and the sword and shield together look very crisp, especially with Radahn's armor, if you are a fashionista, as I am. So, I am going to continue with this farm, now that I have shown it to you, because I need some more of this gear. I'm trying to get a hold of the Knight's chest plate and gauntlets. I have everything else from his little set. And we will talk about depression. So, I have a clinical diagnosis for major depressive disorder that I received a few years ago in the military, and it had remained undiagnosed from when I was a kid. I had never been really to professional help, and I had 10 sessions with a wonderful psychologist in Winnipeg who definitely helped me see some stuff in a different light. So again, if you haven't been to therapy, highly recommend it. I was undiagnosed depressive, didn't know it. I had been using martial arts to cope, and actually she told me that martial arts and exercise and anything that's related to fitness and or self-image that is healthy is a good way to cope with and manage depression, and is a healthy thing to be involved with in general. Um, so yeah, like I often tell people that without my karate, I'd be dead or in jail or both. And what I mean by that is that it gave me the tools to both handle and manage the episodes of depression that were undiagnosed that I was suffering from, that I didn't even know I was suffering from, as well as the, regular highs and lows of daily life. Because Lord knows everybody has struggles. Even if you're fucking neurotypical, everybody has struggles with that shit. And like, in light of this, it also expanded on a bunch of other stuff in my life. So I have a running history with suicide in my life. Every single base I've ever lived on in the military, people have killed themselves, up to and including when I was in basic, like years and years ago. On the day of our suicide prevention brief, a guy killed himself 2 floors under us. So it's like, it's just a running theme that I've stood suicide watch for multiple people inside and outside the forces. I've got family members who have taken their own life, and it's just this idea that like it's an open secret for everybody, because if you talk to anybody in the forces, they know somebody who was dealing with suicide stuff, or they've been around it, or they've stood suicide watch. At the very least they've had the briefings. It's always kind of in your face. If you work at all in the mental health community, it's kind of the same thing. I worked a long time in bars and clubs, and if you're in an environment where you're serving alcohol to people, you see a lot of depression up close, because you see people trying to cope with it by self-medicating. So it's this idea that, like, if you're like me and you've been fighting the black dog your whole life, and you don't know how or why it is the way it is because you've never gone to therapy, you should. I'm gonna say that right now. You should. Everybody should. And like, if you see someone around you that's like acting out or being shitty, maybe they're not shitty. Maybe they're struggling. Maybe, like, think about a boss fight in this game. This, like, Dark Souls, like all Souls-like games are actually a perfect analogy. Like, they contain a perfect microcosm for overcoming depression, at least for battling it. Like, they've helped me in my life. And looking back, I am very grateful that I've had the experiences that I've had in these games, because they taught me a lot of hard lessons about just not giving up. Because, like, in Souls-like games, shit gets real hard. Shit can be depressing and dark, and it can feel like you're never gonna win. But if you just fucking keep at it, sometimes you win. And the thing is, you just gotta win the one time to win, right? And then you just keep winning. And you keep winning, and you win, and you win, and you win. Like, it's real hard when you're level 1, but when you're level 100, those same fights that you used to fight that would kick your ass, you don't kick your ass the same way, right? And it's like, that's kind of the lesson with regards to depression that Souls-like games teach. And one of the reasons I love them, and I'm having this conversation with you now, very frankly. Because, like, regardless of who you are, what your experience is, how tough you think you are, like, life's dark, man. Shit's, like, the Buddhists were right. It's suffering, but suffering and joy are the two sides of the same coin. So, like, approaching this stuff and talking about this stuff, while it isn't really comfortable a lot of the time, and sometimes can be a little triggering, I'll include a trigger warning on this video because it's pretty hard stuff, deep, difficult topics. It's just about just not giving up. I love the paradigm of Souls games for that. There's a lot of stuff out there about how Souls games save people. They saved me too. Like, there's a reason I have a Dark Souls tattoo on my calf that says, "Don't you dare go hollow." Like, that's what it is, right? As long as you just keep fucking going. Keep fucking going. Like, for me, in the conversation I was having with my loved one about this topic, we were talking about people like Robin Williams and how tragic it is. I think that's how the conversation started. It was a meme about Robin Williams that got us talking about it. And I was like, yeah, I get it, man. As someone who fights those fights, I get it. I think the only thing we own is our time. And if you want to cash in your chips, to me, okay. But that's a very final choice. And to me, on the other side of a lot of my depressive stuff that I didn't understand when I was a kid. Because when you're young, the world is scary and those fights seem fucking impossible at times. It's like, you're not going to be level 1 forever, right? And if you keep fighting, you'll get stronger. And these same guys that kicked your ass in the beginning will be a joke to you. And that's kind of how I see the fight against, like, the inner demons, right? Like, just keep pushing, keep pushing. Just like in any Souls game. Don't you dare go hollow. Don't give up. Whew! I get emotional. Emotional about this shit. Because like I said, it's personal. Like, it's personal to me. And like, if you're struggling, just know, like, we're all alone, but you don't gotta be lonely about it. Like, we all gotta face this shit by ourselves. But there's a lot of times you can, like, call a guy in, you know? For that jolly cooperation. So if you're struggling, don't give up. And if you see a summon sign, touch that shit. Whew, emotional. So yeah, this is a cool video about a cool farm in Elden Ring. And also about suicide. And about how it's worth it to keep going. Because eventually, you get all the shit that you wanted if you just don't give up. And sometimes it might feel like you're losing, and shit is dangerous and hard and dark. And it's like, as long as you just don't fucking quit. You only fail when you quit. When you fail at a thing, that's life asking you if you're ready to learn the lessons that it's teaching you. I just got a great shield again. I'm looking for the armor. God damn it. So it's like, listen to life when it's teaching you lessons and shit is hard and you're like, okay, what are these boss mechanics? When is my dodge parry timing? Right? In reference to this. Don't you dare go hollow.